We just got back from a very special cruise on board the Costa Favolosa. And today, we're going to give you a full review of our voyage from top to bottom. As usual, we're going to rate every aspect of our cruise from 1 to 5 anchors.
Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Rick.
And I'm Andrea. And today we will give you a full review of our last cruise on board the Costa Favolosa. But first, if you like travel-related videos like this one, now is a great time to hit the subscribe button down below, so you'll never miss any future videos.
Yes, because once you subscribe, you keep getting us in your YouTube feed every single week. And how would you want that, right?
Our cruise on board the Costa Favolosa was a very special cruise that Costa runs twice a year for the Costa Club members. On this particular cruise, there are special guests, special events, special destinations, and special excursions.
So this was a very special cruise.
Absolutely. For this reason, we will have a lot to cover, so let's begin.
Yes, actually, it's a very exciting video. So our first topic on the Costa Favolosa cruise review is
boarding. As we mentioned before, in every other Costa Cruise review, we received a boarding time about 3 weeks before departures. Our boarding was scheduled for 11 a.m. This time, we drove to Savona to board the ship, and we used the parking in Savona provided by the port.
Right, and if you don't know where Savona is, it's actually very close to Genova.
Yes. The process was quite efficient and quick. To book the parking, I just need to enter the ship name, the date of departure, and the reservation number on the website of the parking in Savona. By the time we dropped the car to the time we were on board, it took about 20 minutes, so really, really quick. Mm-hmm. And the process was super easy and very well organized, actually, I have to admit. Very smooth, no problem.
Totally.
For this sailing, we shipped our bag using the Bag Express service, as we've done before in the past, and we loved it. With this service, the Bag Express company pick up your bags at home a few days prior to departure, and a couple of hours after you board the ship, your bags magically appear in your cabin.
Right, actually, it's designed to be there at boarding, but we're always there so much earlier.
Also, and most importantly, for Costa Club member Gold and Platinum, the service is free of charge for 1 bag per passenger.
Yes, very well done, Costa.
Absolutely well done. One thing that is very important when you board a Costa ship is to remember to register your credit card in any of the kiosks around the ship. For some reason, on Costa, it is not possible to do it online or with an agent at check-in, so you have to do it yourself on board.
Yeah, actually, they always need your credit card for some reason. It's very strange.
I know. So, now it's time to vote for boarding, and I think my vote is a 5 out of 5, for the process was very smooth, easy, and efficient. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, well, it's exactly as you said. I'm trying to think if there's anything more to add. It was easy peasy, Boarding, 5 out of 5. Now, let's move on to our next topic to review on board the Costa Favolosa, and we will talk about the ship. The Costa Favolosa was built by Itinerary, and it was launched in July of 2011. It's 290 meters long and 35.5 meters wide. So it's not quite a large ship, it's more like a big medium-sized ship. It can reach a maximum speed of 22 knots, and at maximum capacity, it can host 3,800 passengers and 1,110 crew members. But on this sailing, there was 2,800 passengers, so it was very good. The ship is a bit old, but it is well maintained. And during our sailing, Costa was installing the new Starlink satellite service, but of course, unfortunately, we weren't able to use it because it became operational the day we disembarked. The ship has 17 decks, 14 of which are for passengers. The main decks are for restaurants, bars, the theater, and shops. And they're all on decks 3, 4, and 5. Unfortunately, this ship, like any other Concordia-class ship, it is one of the main dining rooms on decks 3 and 4 midship. And because of this, it's really not possible to walk from the front to the back of the ship on those two decks. You can only walk from front to the back on deck 5.
Yeah,
so
I kind of don't like that.
you kind of have to know that. Now, as we've seen on almost every Costa ship, the Favolosa has a set of panoramic elevators from decks 3 to 10 that are really nice. The ship also has 3 pools, one on deck 9 aft that's uncovered, one on deck 9 midship that's covered with a retractable roof, which if you follow this channel you know we love, and of course there's one on deck 11 that's uncovered. The ship has a lot of areas, decks 9, 10, 11, and 12 for sun tanning. On this ship, there was also a private area, which we thought was cool at the beginning, on deck 14 for sun tanning, and that cost 12 euros on sea days and 6 euros on port days, and it was free for suite passengers. We tried the area, and it was definitely quieter than all of the other sun tanning areas on board. However, it just didn't meet the mark for several reasons. First, it was all the way in the front of the ship, so during navigation it was very windy. Also, it was very far from the bars and the pools to grab something to drink. The closest bar was on deck 9 midship. Lastly, the area had a lot of shady areas that were not ideal for sun tanning. But hey, if there were a lot of people sun tanning, this could be a quieter place to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, I think this ship needs a bit of a makeover inside. And by a bit, I mean yeah. The decor and the color scheme is very dated. And after this long review, let's vote for the ship. I say my vote is a 4 out of 5 anchors. Andrea, what is your vote?
For the ship, my vote is also a 4 out of 5. The ship was quite really well kept, but as I usually like to stroll back and forth inside the ship at night, and we're not only able to do this on deck 5, and of course deck 5 is usually packed because everybody's doing the same.
Everybody's doing exactly the same.
So, and on top of that, you have to go through the casino and through the dance area, and
the
it's
drinking
really,
area.
really busy. So it's kind of difficult to go back and forth. Our next topic of our Costa Favolosa Cruise review is overall feeling. The overall feeling on board was really, really good. I think that the main reason was the fact that the passengers on board of this cruise were all long-time cruisers, very well-seasoned cruisers. Everyone was having a great time and enjoyed themselves a lot. Also, we noticed that on this cruise, it was really easy to meet new people and make friends. In fact, we met several people that were really nice, and we created some really good friendship.
Exactly.
We have also met a few other couples that we have met before in previous sailings, which was really nice. And it was nice to be able to reconnect with them and be acquainted better.
Exactly.
Also, a few passengers recognized us from this channel, and we were really, really happy to meet them in person. On that note, if you happen to see us around, please come and say hi. We'd love to meet you all because we love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without you, there would be no channel, right?
Absolutely. Finally, the crew seemed really happy, and we were always in a very good mood. A lot of crew members recognized us from previous sailing, and it was very nice to meet them again. Wayan, one of the bartender, also remembered the type of drink and wine that we liked from a previous sailing, like did that?
The Trebbiano. Of course, it was probably because we were the only yahoos drinking that.
Well, time to vote now for overall feeling, and I will give a 5 out of 5 anchors. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, like before, I deeply enjoyed the feeling on this cruise. We met some really good friends on this one, and reconnected, of course, with some old friends, which is always really nice. For this reason, my vote is also a 5 out of 5 anchors. Very good job. All right, so the next topic on our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, and we're going to talk about the price. If you've watched our Costa Cruise reviews before, you may have noticed that we never really talked about the price of the cruise. And it dawned on us that it might be a very important item to review, and from now on, we are going to include it. So originally, we were in a balcony cabin, and it was for a 14-day cruise, and we paid 3,914 euros for 2 of us, including the drink package and the gratuity, so it's all inclusive. Now, as a general rule, when you price a cruise, it's always a good idea to price it per person per night. And on this particular cruise, it came out to just 140 euros per person per day, which is, I think, very good value in exchange for a balcony cabin with an all-inclusive package. And without those crazy 15 drink limitations like they have on other cruise lines. And not that we ever got to that point, but it's nice not to have to think about it.
Absolutely.
Now, we did spend about 1,500 euros on excursions, but that was our choice. And in most ports, there was really no need to do the excursions. Okay, so time to vote for the price, and my vote is an easy 5 out of 5 anchors. Andrea, what do you think?
My vote for price is a 5 out of 5 anchors as well, because I think that the quality versus price that we paid was perfectly acceptable. Actually, it was better than acceptable. It was quite good. So let's move to our next topic to review aboard the Costa Favolosa, and we will talk about the itinerary. As we mentioned in the intro, this was a Costa Club special cruise, and the itinerary was quite unique. We started our journey in Savona, Italy. After that, we stopped in Civitavecchia, near Rome. Then we moved to Palermo, Sicily. After Palermo, we reached the port of La Goulette in Tunisia, Africa. From Tunisia, we had a sea day before reaching the port of Cartagena, Spain. From Cartagena, then, we crossed the Strait of Gibraltar to reach Cadiz, Spain. From Cadiz, we sailed on the Atlantic Ocean to reach Casablanca, Morocco, where we stayed overnight. After leaving Casablanca, we went to Tanger, Morocco. We then crossed the Strait of Gibraltar again to reach our next stop in Malaga, Spain. After Malaga, we had our second and last sea day before reaching Barcelona. From Barcelona, we then hit the port of Marseille, France, before going back to Savona. As you can see, the itinerary was quite beautiful and very unusual. We only had 2 sea days out of 14 days, and we sailed to some very interesting and unusual port of call, such as Casablanca, Tanger, and La Goulette. We really enjoyed this itinerary, and we were really happy to visit Morocco and Tunisia. One thing to consider was the fact that with only 2 sea days, we were out of exploring and doing excursion almost every day. Yeah. For this year, we felt a bit tired after leaving Malaga. Also, it was quite challenging for us to keep up with work, because usually we do work on sea days.
Yes, that's true. Exactly.
And because we were going on all the time, it was really tough to find some time.
But hey, if you're on a ship for a holiday, that probably doesn't matter.
No, not really. I think one extra sea day in between Tanger and Malaga would be a better choice, but...
Yeah, or maybe one less excursion.
Exactly. Time to vote on the itinerary now, and my vote is 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed the ports and the destination, and I would definitely do it again. Maybe not all the excursion this time, but a little bit more about that later. What is your vote for the itinerary, Rick?
Well, I got to see some really cool places this time. I met some awesome new people. I ate some really cool new food and danced a little. So yeah, my vote for the itinerary is a solid 5 out of 5. Let's move on to our next item to review on board the Costa Favolosa, and we'll talk about the cabin. Now, originally, when we booked this cruise, we booked a balcony cabin guaranteed. A few weeks before the departure, we noticed that some suites became available, and so we asked our Costa rep for a quote to upgrade to a guaranteed suite. Now remember, folks, we pay for our cruises. Fortunately, the price of the upgrade was really good. So, it was last minute, so we decided to buy the upgrade. A few days prior to departure, and we got our cabin assigned, and we were stunned to discover that we were upgraded to the biggest suite on board, the Grand Suite.
Score.
Yes. The suite was located on deck 7 midship, so best area of the ship. The cabin was really wide with a lot of space to move around. It had 2 big closets in the room and another big closet in the powder room. By the way, I brought my entire closet.
Practically.
We also had a huge bathroom with double sinks, a jacuzzi, and even a bidet.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the decor of the room was a tad outdated, kind of like the rest of the ship, and some of the furniture, it was ready to be replaced. And yes, that ugly brown couch came back to haunt us.
Yeah, that's
Now, the bed was super comfortable. It was a nice queen-size bed, excellent mattress, and we had a pillow menu, so we had an array of pillows to choose from. The balcony was also quite spacious. Now, it was very long, but not very deep. There were plenty of power plugs around the room, and also a plug with 4 USB ports on one of the bedside tables. Other standard features in the room were, of course, the safe and the minibar. In the room, we also had a nice, handy coffee maker that was replenished every day with plenty of coffee pods, and we enjoyed it. We also had a butler. Yes, our suite came with a butler, but we weren't able to make good use of the service. Actually, other than bringing us our laundry, food, and drinks, the answer was, sorry, I can't do that. So he's basically...
a glorified room service.
Room service, exactly, but very, very nice. At embarkation, we were also able to peek inside a wheelchair-accessible room, and the room, was nice. It was well laid out, had a giant shower. We also got to see the solo cabin, and here's what it looks like. Actually, I think for one person traveling alone, this could be a really good option to not spend very much money, because you're not in your cabin often, right?
Yeah.
Now it's time to vote for the cabin, and I give the cabin a 4 out of 5 anchors. Andrea, what do you think?
For the cabin, my vote is also a 4 out of 5. The space was wonderful, and I deeply enjoyed the spacious room, the extra closet, and the coffee maker. And most importantly, I deeply enjoyed the bidet. I love the mattress and the bed. Unfortunately, I found the furniture in urgent need of an upgrade, especially the chairs inside of the room and the ugly brown couch.
Yeah.
Also, the patio furniture were really minimalist and quite cheap.
They were all scratched up, actually.
Some upgraded up patio furniture is necessary. Maybe Costa should update the cabin decor to match the Costa Toscana, which was wonderful. By the way, if you want to know more about the Costa Toscana, check out this video. Here.
Yes. That was an amazing cruise.
Yeah, it was your best cruise ever. Right?
Yes, it was. All right, well, time to move on to our next topic on our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, and we're going to talk about the restaurants.
Costa Favolosa has 2 main dining rooms, both located on deck 3 and 4. The Duca di Borgogna is located midship, and the Duca d'Orléans is located all the way aft. Both dining rooms are very spacious, with a set of internal stairs that connect the 3rd and the 4th floor.
So the people on the 4th floor can look down on the people on the 3rd floor.
Both dining rooms have a lot of window and plenty of natural light. The Duca d'Orléans on deck 4 is reserved for gold and platinum guests who are not able to use the Club Favolosa restaurant. The menus are exactly the same in both dining rooms, so don't be worried which one you pick. For dinner, both dining rooms have 2 seatings, 7 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. Costa Favolosa also has a buffet located on deck 9 toward the back of the ship. The buffet is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's very spacious with station on both sides of the ship and the back of the ship. We walked by the buffet several times during service and we had never seen it packed like we saw in previous cruises.
No, most people use the restaurants.
Yeah, it was busy but not packed. There are always tables available to sit down and have something to eat. We only used the buffet twice for breakfast when we had early excursion and our restaurant at the Club Favolosa was still closed. Overall, the food selection was quite good, and Rick was also able to get freshly scrambled egg at the buffet.
Yeah, she was a little, yeah.
She didn't know what to say, but she made them. The buffet also has a self-serve coffee machine that makes espresso, cappuccino, and other specialty coffees. In order to use the machine, you need to swipe the cruise card because you don't have the
Actually, you kind of need to scan the cruise card.
Fine.
Yeah.
If you don't have the drink package, then you cannot have the cappuccino.
Well,
for
no,
free.
they charge you for it.
Yeah, exactly. Also on deck 9, by the covered pool, there is a Salty Beach hamburger station. This station serves freshly made omelets for breakfast, burgers and hot dogs for lunch and afternoon snack, and they're also free of charge. At night, they serve gourmet burger and desserts for a fee. We did not try the Salty Beach because we don't really care.
We actually don't eat a lot on board. We eat what we need, just like at home, right?
On deck 11, all the way aft, there is the Club Favolosa restaurant. This restaurant is dedicated to suite passenger and gold and platinum passenger upon availability.
If they're really lucky.
Yeah. The menu is the same as the main dining room with some extra gourmet dishes only available at the club restaurant. Also, the setting is more intimate, calm, and quiet, and the service is way more attentive with only few servers per table. We used this restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we loved it. On some ship, if the restaurant is not sold out, passenger can eat at the club for a fee. On this one,
Not possible.
no. All these restaurants included the restaurant on Costa. Costa Favolosa also has a few specialty restaurants with a cover charge. So let's start with the most expensive and famous one, the Archipelago. The Archipelago is located on deck 3, midship, right next to the Duca di Borgogna restaurant. The restaurant inside is beautiful, very modern style and shape.
Actually, it doesn't match the decor at all.
No. There are 3 menus designed by 3 famous Michelin stars. As you know from all other Costa review videos, we did not try this restaurant for a very specific reason. All the menus are very seafood oriented, and I do not eat seafood, so I cannot eat there.
Yeah, you cannot have any changes, even if you're vegan, vegetarian.
No. So I cannot go there.
Yeah.
Another Costa Classic specialty restaurant is the sushi bar Sushino, which is located on deck 5, midship, right by one of the bar. This is a typical sushi restaurant with a la carte or all-you-can-eat option. On this sailing, we did not eat at Sushino, but we tried in our recent cruise on board of the Costa Pacifica and was pretty good, actually. And if you want to know more about it...
Oh, yeah. That was also a very good cruise, right?
Absolutely.
And, more on Sushino, we keep talking about going, but...
yeah, we eat so well at the
the restaurants have such good food.
Also on deck 5 by the casino, you can find the Teppanyaki restaurant. We had dinner here one night, and it was pretty identical to all the other teppanyaki restaurants we've tried on Costa. The food was excellent, the show very entertaining, and overall a great way to spend the night and have a nice dinner with friends and enjoy.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, it never gets old, right? No. Once a cruise, happy to do it.
Lastly, on deck 10, all the way aft, you can find the Pomodoro Pizzeria. They serve traditional Naples-style pizza and Roma-style pinza.
Which is new, right?
Yeah, which is new. We did not at the pizzeria, however, we had pizza and pinza delivered to our club restaurant, and we found both very delicious and very comparable with what you can get on land in Naples.
In Naples.
Yeah. So, after this very long and detailed review, it's time to vote for restaurant. And my vote is a solid 5 out of 5 anchor, except for Archipelago that I did not try, so I can vote on. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, it's really sad about Archipelago. I would actually like to try it one day. By the way, if anybody would like to take me out, I am available. One thing I really like that is possible, by the way, is for you to be able to buy packages for the specialty restaurants for 3 or 7 entries to Archipelago and teppanyaki, or a combination of sushi and teppanyaki more than one time. So if you like to try more than one specialty restaurant, this is a great way for you to save some money. Now, for the restaurants, if you haven't guessed it already, my vote is a solid 5 out of 5, no question here. Okay, so let's move on to our next item to review on board the Costa Favolosa, and we will talk about the food. Like every other Costa cruise we've been on, the food on board this special cruise was absolutely fantastic. It was tasty, perfectly presented, with perfect portion sizes, it was well seasoned, and with an amazing variety. In particular, there was always 1 or 2 items on the menu related to the next destination we were going to. It's called the destination menu. Like we've mentioned before in other Costa review videos, there was always 1 or 2 items on the menu designed by one of the 3 Michelin star chefs that collaborate with Costa. In fact, one of them was called Helene Darroze, and she was on board this special cruise as well. Yeah. Now, if you're coming from North America, you might find that the food portions to be a bit small. And folks, this is by design because you can order as many as you want. Costa is very careful not to waste too much food because, well, that's wrong. It's just wrong. Also, if you're from North America, you might find that the Italian food might be different than you might expect back home. And this is because the food on board the Costa Favolosa, or on Costa in general, is authentic Italian. So there's no spaghetti and meatballs, there's no Hawaiian pizzas, I wish there was, but that kind of stuff doesn't exist, okay? Also on this cruise, they had several buffets by the pool for lunch or dinner at night. Most of the buffet were themed to the itinerary, such as paella when we were in Spain, Moroccan street food when we were in, guess what? Yes, and so on. The head chef, and chefs actually, were always around the ship making sure that the food was perfect, and they were always very happy to talk to everyone. We also had a couple of presentations by the pool, food presentations, that were always really well attended. I mean, who doesn't like food, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the food on Costa, as you know, is delicious, but the desserts, they're out of this world. They're on another level. Every single dessert is incredibly beautiful, tasty, and innovative. And on board this special Costa Club cruise, we had the corporate head pastry chef, Riccardo Bellera, and he was making us some special desserts specifically for this cruise.
Yeah, it was amazing.
He also made a presentation on board on how to make some of them. And during the presentation, he explained how he and his team are working on preparing desserts in a way that requires significantly less sugar, but tastes just as good. And boy, did they ever. And by the way, Riccardo, if you're watching, we want to just send you a big congratulations as being recognized as one of the best pastry chefs in the world.
Well done.
It's an incredible honor, and it's very, very well deserved. Now it's time to vote for the food, and for this vote, well, I give it a solid 5 out of 5 anchors on this category, but I also think that the desserts, they deserve another 5 out of 5 anchors because, yeah, they were just incredible. I mean, I dream about them. Andrea, what do you think on this one?
Well, Rick, no need to ask. A solid 5 out of 5 is my vote as well. Like, the food was absolutely amazing. Another 5 out of 5 for the dessert. No doubts. They're like so amazing, so beautiful and delicious.
And you know, no matter how, it doesn't matter how long we're on board a Costa cruise ship, we never gain weight either, right?
No, it's fantastic. Okay, let's start to review another aspect of our Costa Favolosa Cruise, and we're talking about drinks and drinking package. If you follow us, you know that we always strongly recommend booking the drinking package as part of the all-inclusive fare on Costa at the time of booking.
Exactly, that's the key.
If you book it this way, it's an excellent value and you won't be disappointed. If you want to know more details about the basic drinking package on Costa, check out this video up here. We talked a lot about it. On this particular sailing, because we were traveling in a suite, we had the upgraded drinking package, the My Drink Plus.
Yeah, kind of ruined it for our future cruises.
Yeah, this package is amazing. First of all, the selection of wine that you can get by the glass with this package is incredible. Practically almost every single wine that is sold by the glass is included in this package.
I think every single one was. I can't remember anyone that wasn't.
Also included are some Italian champagne-style wines like Ferrari Brut and Demi-Sec, which we loved and we drank it every single dinner. Also included are some dessert wines such as Sauterne. And if this is not enough, you have a wide variety of digestive and top-label liqueurs, such as Zacapa rum and cognac.
Yes, we actually discovered Zacapa from another viewer who knows us. You know who you are.
Now, some of these typical wines are only served at the wine bar. More about that later. Now, if the selection is not enough, you always have some gourmet coffee included at Gelateria Amarillo. So the Plus package is incredible, and the upgrade is not that much more expensive. You decided to do so.
Yeah, especially for like a 7-day cruise or something.
Yeah, it's a treat, actually, if you like wine.
Yeah, I completely agree. Actually, I have a tip. If Costa, if you're listening, if you gave it away, I'm saying the Plus package, at least the upgrade, say on embarkation day, we would have known about it years ago and would have upgraded every single time.
Absolutely.
But hey, better late than never, right?
Well, time to vote now for drink and drink package, and you probably guessed that my vote is a solid 5 anchor out of 5. So what's your vote, Rick?
Well,
let me guess.
They gave me wine for free, as well as cognac and champagne and everything else. Well, you did upgrade for us for those other 8 or 9 cruises, right? All right, so no need to ask. I was able to have my favorite Chianti on board in all seriousness. Also some treats like the Sauterne and Zacapa rum, and I don't think I'm going to be able to cruise again without upgrading in some way. So yes, this is going to get a 5 out of 5 anchors for me as well. Okay, so time to move on to our next topic on our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, and we'll talk about the bars. Costa Favolosa has several bars on board, and most of them are pretty similar. Also, at most bars, the drinks menu is pretty much the same. Overall, the bars are quite good, and they serve the purpose, right, to give people drinks. Now, there are 2 bars that are completely different and unique, and I think we should focus on those 2.
Absolutely.
The first is the Sunset Lounge, located on deck 12, all the way at the front of the ship. This bar is a new concept that's popped up, and they're supposed to serve cocktails, some new cocktails that are not included in the regular drink package. And they also serve premium liquors and drinks that are not included in the regular drink package. Now, on this sailing, the bar opened at 5 p.m.
Weird.
So it was closed the entire day. Also on this sailing, smoking was no longer allowed.
At this bar.
At this bar, exactly. And we walked by this location several times, and the lounge was always dead. On our last sailing on board the Costa Pacifica, the bar was usually busy-ish at night, and it was open all day as a regular bar where you could get water, wine, beer, or whatever if you were suntanning by the pool. On this sailing, it wasn't available. And the lounge was pretty much a ghost town the entire time. I mean, if you couldn't smoke there, you couldn't drink there during the day, what was the point of being there, right?
It's beautiful. It's right in this beautiful location.
The second bar we want to talk about is called the Wine Bar Camelot. This quickly became our favorite bar on the ship. Now, it's the Ferrari bar on others. First of all, at this bar, they serve almost only wines and cocktails that are not included in the regular drink package. So in other words, you have to have the My Drinks Plus to get anything for free. Yeah, or you pay. Second, the wine selection is incredible here. Third, at this bar, they also serve molecular cocktails that look pretty cool. No need to say that we fell in love with this place because of the ultra-wide selection of wines by the glass that we could get here.
Yes.
Also, we became very friendly with the bartender, Zoraida, hello, who was amazing and always happy to have us try new wines. This bar, I think, is a must-try while traveling on the Costa Favolosa. By the way, this is where we were able to get our delicious Sauterne every single night.
Yeah, amazing.
Now, if there was one thing to critique, it was the entertainment in this bar. There was this bass violinist that played in the early evening every day before our dinner. And she was great. She even asked about my favorite music, Elton John, and played it all the time. Thank you. But the volume was always so loud.
Yeah, I know.
We could not hear each other.
I think the speaker was too bad position.
Now, I asked a couple of times to turn it down a little bit, and she did, and it was great, but I kind of felt bad about it, you know? So what ended up happening, we usually avoided that time slot and came back when she wasn't there. I mean, not a big deal, but just a little, food for thought. So, time to vote for the bars, and I give them a solid 5 out of 5. What's your vote, Andrea?
My vote for bar is also a 5 out of 5 anchors. I always found the bar quite nice and the bartender very helpful and happy. The wine bar was a true gem, and I deeply enjoyed our time there. Regarding the Sunset Lounge, I think that Costa still needs to work out some details about this new format.
Yeah.
Because it's almost always empty, and the location is stunning, so I don't understand why.
Yeah, and even on the Pacifica, even though there was people there, nobody was buying anything.
No. Okay, let's review the next topic on board the Costa Favolosa, and we talk about service. Service on board the Costa Favolosa was really good. Our cabin steward was really nice, friendly, and attentive. At the club restaurant, our waiter, Sultan, was absolutely fantastic. Actually, he wasn't even a waiter, but an F&B attendant. But he was assigned to our table. Mm-hmm. He recognized us from a previous cruise, and he was generally happy to see us again and to help us with our...
with practically anything that we needed, all my crazy requests.
It was amazing. A few other bartender and waiter recognized us from previous sailing, and it was really nice to see them again. Mm-hmm. Also, we are very happy to see Arturo, one of the restaurant manager that sailed with us on board of the Toscana.
Yeah, did you know that Arturo is a good singer and guitar player?
He's amazing. We also met an old friend, Gianni Pani, who was really nice to us and welcomed us on board with a delicious chocolate cake.
Yeah, by the way, if anybody wants to send us a chocolate cake, I will happily eat it.
As we mentioned before in our other Costa Cruise review, there are hosts that help passengers in each of the major languages spoken on board. The English-speaking language host was Stephanie, whom we had met before on a previous sailing.
That's right.
And we were thrilled to reconnect with her and to become very friendly with her.
Actually, we met her on the Diadema, right?
On the
Deliciosa.
On the Deliciosa, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually had dinner together a couple of times and we really become friends. Mm-hmm. Officers and managers are always around the ship all the time, interacting with passengers. The bartender manager, Gabriel, recognized us from the Costa Toscana, and he was really happy to talk to us on every day. He was making sure that we were well taken care of and very happy. So,
yes. Yeah, Gabriel.
Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you, Gabriel. And he even took care of a reservation on a future cruise. Can you imagine that? That is incredible.
On this particular sailing, we only went to the front desk one time to get our shareholder credit, as you know. And if you own under a share of Carnival, you can get the credit on board every sailing. And on Costa, you usually have to go to the reception and show the email that that the corporate office sent you in order to get the credit. It's a bit of a cumbersome process, but it's okay.
That's probably because not many people use the credit, right?
Yeah, probably. Well, time to vote now for the service on this sailing, and I give a 5 out of 5 anchor for the service. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, this is an easy one. I mean, the more you cruise, the more you get to know people, the more you understand, what to expect. But it's always been a 5 out of 5. I was really happy on board, and, everyone, they made us feel like family, and I think that's the whole point of Costa.
Let's move on to the next topic of our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, and we'll talk about cleanliness. The Costa Favolosa was incredibly clean. Every area of the ship was spotless. Every day the ship was scrubbed, clean, and in every single area. Even after some of the huge party that we had on board, the ship was spotless almost immediately. It was incredible.
Yep.
The pools were scrubbed and cleaned every night. The buffet area was constantly cleaned and washed. There was everything after service, like boom.
Yeah, I thought that maybe the COVID protocols had something. No.
All the common areas were constantly polished and clean. For this reason, I give 5 anchor out of 5 for cleanliness. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any time. There was one minor problem. You remember? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me tell you what happened. On the last sea day in the afternoon, I was like, every muscle was aching from all of our excursions. And I was curious to try the beautiful giant jacuzzi in the room. So what did I do? I ran myself a bath. And I turned on the jets and everything was good until the bubbles went away and I noticed a lot of black floaties in the water. And they looked a little yucky. So I drained the tub and I gently reported this to the cabin housekeeping manager. And I was very clear that I wasn't angry, but more concerned about a future passenger getting upset. And she apologized deeply, and she said that the jacuzzi should have been sanitized and checked, but for some reason it wasn't. Not a big deal. Maybe not many people use it, right? Who knows? No more than a minor inconvenience, I think. And other than this little issue, I think the ship was really clean. They even cleaned our balconies twice. I was very happy. So I give it also a 5 out of 5 anchors. Okay, so time to move to our next topic on our Costa Favolosa Cruise review. We're going to talk about the entertainment. The entertainment team on board was phenomenal. In fact, the amount of parties on this Costa Club cruise was insane. A word of caution for all you North American folks, the parties on board Costa, they don't start before 11 o'clock. So if you're used to sailing, on NCL, Royal Caribbean, Princess, something like that, you're going to have to adjust to this European time. And some of the parties, they were just crazy and passengers loved them. Let me give you some of the highlights. The white silent party.
That was so weird.
This was really new to us. We've heard about them before and it felt a little bizarre, but it turned out to be a lot of fun. Now, here's how it worked. Each guest had a set of headphones, and there were 3 DJs playing 3 different types of music, 80s, Spanish, and contemporary. And each guest was able to decide which music they wanted to dance with, and you'd have a designated color on your headphones. It was really fun to see people dancing to their own tune with all these different colored headphones. Then there was Desert Night. This was probably one of the best of the parties. Here, there were henna stations for tattoos. There was lots of Arabic music and dancing, and that giant Moroccan buffet by the pool. Also, the dance team on board performed a dancing show. I forgot about that. That's true. People loved this party, and it just, I don't know how late it went because we went to bed early.
Early, it was 1 o'clock in the morning.
Also, there was the 75th birthday party for Costa, and I have to say it was probably the least successful of the parties, but it was still fun, just not as wild. And maybe it was because this party happened towards the end of the cruise and people may have been a little, partied out. I don't know. There were also a few other special nights like German night, Spanish night, French night, and Italian night. And no, we didn't go to each one of these because it would have been impossible for me to wake up so early in the morning.
And sometimes it'd be in two places contemporary at the same time. That's impossible.
That's true. I know. Who comes up with this stuff, right? Another thing that was happening on this special Costa cruise was a lot of competitions between the passengers. They had baking competitions, dancing competitions, and art competitions. And, as you can imagine, we had a lot to do. So, there was no time for us to participate in those. Okay, so time to vote for the entertainment on board. And my vote is a solid 5 out of 5 anchors here. Well done, guys. Always amazing. What's your vote, Andrea?
Well, that's easy. My vote is a solid 5 out of 5 anchors. It was so much fun, so much going on all the time. It was incredible. As we said, it was impossible to be everywhere. Let's move on to our next topic about our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, and we will talk about the shows. The shows on this special sailing were really good. In particular, there were 2 special guests on board the Costa Club cruise. The first and most famous one was Tony Hadley, the lead singer of the 80s band Spandau Ballet.
Not Spandau Ballet?
Spandau Ballet?
No.
In Italy, Spandau Ballet. He performed on the last sea days night, and this show was quite phenomenal. He sang some of the Spandau classic songs like Gold and Through the Barricades, and we really loved it. Mm-hmm. Passengers were really happy with the show, and everyone was
very
thrilled about it. Yeah. Amazing. The second special performer was Talia Alexis, a singer that we had the pleasure to see before on board the Costa Toscana. Mm-hmm. She's an incredible, talented performer, and she did 2 shows.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and 2 amazing shows at that.
Amazing shows, yeah. The first one featured songs from famous singer, and the second one was a tribute to Tina Turner, which we saw before on Costa Toscana. Right. It was stunning. Other than those 2 special shows, there were the usual singing, dancing, and acrobatic show on board of the Costa Favolosa.
That we've seen before, right?
Yeah, we've seen before on board the other Costa ship. However, there was a show with ice skaters on board that was quite unique and really fun. I've never seen people skating on a stage on a ship. Lastly, we had a ventriloquist on board that was quite talented and really funny, and was apparently the winner of Italian Got Talent, I think.
Exactly. I've never heard of him before, but I like it.
It was a good show. Time to vote for the shows, and I'm very pleased to give a 5 anchor out of 5 on this special sailing. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, that was an easy one. No doubt, I'm going to give this one a solid 5 out of 5 for the shows as well. I think there was shows that we didn't even see. There was so many shows. Yeah. And of course, I loved seeing Talia again. You are amazing. And, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and, that kind of music I think was really cool. And I think you like Tony Hadley as well. Yeah, for sure. And I also think that the Costa Favolosa is really comfortable, especially for someone like you, right?
The theater on Costa Favolosa is beautiful because I can stretch my super long leg and I'm still not able to touch the front seat, so I have lots of room to stretch. Mm-hmm. Time to review another aspect of our Costa Favolosa cruise, and we talk about excursions. A little warning, the excursions were probably the weakest area of the whole cruise experience. Let's start from the beginning. The excursion team on board was always around and helpful. Yeah.
True.
On the first few days of the cruise, the excursion desk was always incredibly busy. For this reason, we strongly recommend you to book your excursion online prior to boarding. That way, you can avoid the super long and busy line that you have on board. And most importantly, avoid the risk of that particular excursion that you want to do is sold out.
Yeah. Book weeks in advance, months in advance, whenever they're available. If you think you like it, book it.
Another trick we learned on traveling on board Costa is to book our excursion always in Italian, because it avoids the risk of getting cancelled.
Exactly.
Because some excursion in English, French, or other language, they did not reach the minimum amount and they get cancelled. On the date of excursion, we always able to change our ticket for English just before boarding the bus. We go and ask gently, and they usually change the bus.
Yeah, we just go up to the bus that's in English, and they usually say yes.
Third, remember, on Costa you don't have to pay for excursion at the time of booking online, but you pay when you get on board. So you have lots of time to change your mind and cancel your excursion. So book them online, and if you don't care to doing the excursion anymore, 3 or 4 days prior to departure, cancel it.
Yeah, prior to departure,
3 or 4 days prior to departure.
Yeah, because once you're on board, you cannot cancel it. We learned this, actually. I think they're the only cruise line that doesn't allow you to cancel a cruise line when you're on board. It could be 2 weeks from now, it could be 3 weeks from now, it doesn't matter.
You may change it, but not cancel.
Maybe if you ask really good. But the rule is no excursions get canceled or changed while you are on board. So
unless you have a medical certificate.
Right. If you have a medical certificate, you're sick, you can't go, then you can. I think that's the only exception.
Yeah. So we took a few excursions on this special Costa cruise, and some were very good and some other not so much. In particular, we loved our excursion to Marrakesh, which was phenomenal. The one in Tangier and that one, which really loved. We also did 2 special excursions that were dedicated to gold and platinum passenger. One to Sevilla and the other one to a special visit to the Alhambra Palace in Granada. Unfortunately, both of these 2 excursions were not good at all.
These are supposed to be the special.
Yeah, they were supposed to be tailored for special guests. Not good. They took us to a restaurant that was really bad, and the guides were mediocre at best, and the excursion were long and a bit boring. Although also those 2 special excursions were quite expensive, so Costa, if you're listening, think about it.
Yeah, it was not good.
Disappointing. Overall, we have to admit that the excursions were not the best part of the cruise.
I mean, we made the best of it, though, right?
Yeah, we made the best of it, but time to vote now for the excursion. My vote is a 3 out of 5 because of the team was very nice and helpful, but some excursions were really subpar. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah. So about the guides in Seville and Grenada, they were a little... Granada, yes, of course. Let's just say I would have preferred to have gone out on my own and eaten at a better restaurant. And when I mean these restaurants were bad, they were really bad. But the other excursions, they were good. I mean, remember Marrakesh?
Marrakesh was so much fun.
Mustafa, he was amazing, of course. All right, so let's get to it. For the excursions, I think 3 out of 5 is good.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to our next item to review on board the Costa Favolosa Cruise, and that's the spa. Now, because you watched our videos before, you know that the spa is my usual natural habitat. I love the spa and I love massages. And the spa on board the Favolosa is quite nice, it's big, and it's very similar to any other Concordia class ship. It's really big, well laid out, with a lot of windows. There's a large hot tub, which was warm this time. Yes. I think was the right temperature. Several relaxing rooms that had different temperatures, a steam room, and a big winter garden. And everything worked, actually, on this ship. Yeah, so I'm very happy to say. One thing that's important to mention is that the ship does have a dry sauna in the gym that anyone can use free of charge, and the gym is inside the spa, but you can use it for free. Speaking of which, there was a lot of equipment that was pretty newish looking in the gym, and it was, like I said, free of charge. We walked in but didn't use it because we were always on excursion doing thousands and thousands of steps every single day. Now, on this particular cruise, we did not book the entry to the spa for the whole cruise because, well, we were going exploring every single day. We wouldn't have very much time. In fact, there was only 2 days, just the 2 sea days that we were available. But because we were traveling in a suite, we had 1 free entry, and we also had another free entry on a port day because of our gold status. I also got a massage on sea day. Overall, the spa was quite enjoyable, and we enjoyed spending a couple of afternoons there. There is one thing that I was not thrilled about, that I did not love, and it was the fact that this spa did not offer any specials. I mean, the spa treatments are really expensive, at least the suggested prices. The regular prices are really expensive. But usually on the cruise ships, they have amazing deals throughout the cruise. So I went up, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd day, and I asked the spa manager about the cruise specials that were coming up. And I was told, well, I'm going to have to wait until the end of the cruise for anything. And can you believe only a women's party was offered to us? So on the last sea day, I asked again about the specials, and she offered me a 75-minute massage at a decent price. Honestly, I don't even remember how much. I don't know if you remember. But hey, if they had offered it earlier on, I may have gone more times, like 2 or 3 or more times like I normally do on cruises, maybe after those excursions. Oh well, look, not a big deal. Time to vote for the spa, and because of the service, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Look, the massage was great, the hot tub was great, the areas was great, but the manager's tone was just something I won't forget, at least for a little bit. Andrea, what do you think? You weren't there for any of that.
I give this 5 out of 5 angles because I think that the ambience and the space and the opportunity to relax while on watching outside is great. Mm-hmm. I did not experience the problem with the massage lady because I didn't. I don't get massage usually. Yeah. Moving on to our next topic for our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, we talk about the Costa App. The Costa App is the portal that allows passengers to see their daily program, shows, the food menu, onboard account, message other passenger, connect to the internet, browse the excursion. It can do practically everything on the app. It's an essential tool if you're traveling on Costa. The Costa App has some updates since we used it last June.
That's true.
And first thing we noticed is that it was now allowed to push notification coming to you. Meaning that if you send a message to a friend in the app, the phone dings and shows the message without being needed to log into the app and check the message, which is actually an improvement. I think we mentioned this on our last video, so thanks for adding this feature.
Yes.
Thank you. Also, it's now possible to do a safety drill on the app without having to congregate in the theater or somewhere else and watching this boring presentation. Yes. After watching the little videos on the app, you'll need to go to the master station, scan your card, and you're good to go. And that's it, taking care of the drill, which is
so much better to do the drill on the app.
Absolutely, especially people that cruise so many times. Also now the app shows the excursion details, including the meeting point, the bus number, and place and time of meeting the day before, which is really good, and you don't need a ticket anymore, apparently. Mm-hmm. On this particular sailing, we had a couple of days when the app kept crashing. We asked the support lady on board, and she was not aware why this was happening.
Or if she wasn't telling us.
Maybe. We then found out that they were updating the app, and after that, it was working fine with an improved interface.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The best improvement was the way that expenses showed up in the app. More clear and easy to understand and read.
So the fact that you saw how many thousands of euros we spent on board was the best.
One thing that was not improved was the fact that the app can be really, really, really slow to open sometimes. It takes a full minute to open. Lastly, we noticed that the app still does not show reservation made for restaurant or spa. So reservation made on board, basically. It shows reservation made on the ship.
Yeah, you reserve to teppanyaki, it doesn't show up there.
No. Time to vote for the Costa app, and my vote is a 3 anchor out of 5. Overall, it works, does the job, but there are few bugs that needed to be fixed, and quickly. What's your vote, Rick?
Yeah, actually, my app crashed, I think, a lot more than yours did. I think you were you were luckier, and it was to the point where I stopped using it. And also, since you, on this cruise, registered the credit card for the expenses this time, only you were able to see the charges. That's by design on Costa. So there was...
Other cruise ship does the same, actually.
Yeah. So there was little reason for me to use the app. I think it would have been nice if we were both able to see the expenses, you know? So for that, I give the app also a 3 out of 5 anchors. Let's review another aspect of our cruise on board the Costa Favolosa, and we'll talk about the photo department. The photo department on board the Costa Favolosa was pretty much the same as any other Costa ship. I don't think there's been much innovation there. They had the same backdrops, the same props around the ship that we've seen, the same poses. We've seen this many, many times. The photo gallery is located on deck 4 midship, and it's quite big. On this ship, they offered the same photo packages that they've offered on all of the other ships. You know, the My Shades and the My Moments, and let me tell you, they were very confusing. Like, it was just very confusing. We became friendly with a couple of the photographers on board. One of them's name is Marta, by the way. Hello. And she was with us taking photos of us in Marrakesh. She was really nice, and we had a lot of conversations with her. And she also liked to take pictures of me in my funny cruise shoes. By the way, if you like my cruise shoes, give me a like on this video. The other one was Gillian, who was really funny, and I love to take goofy photos with him as well. The other photographers on board, well, they were quite cordial as usual, and unfortunately, though, in the end, we took a lot of photos, but didn't buy any because the prices were really high, and you know, no, they weren't worth it. I think they wanted 75 euros for 3 digital photos that we liked.
Something like that.
What? Anyway, time to vote for the photo department, and I think I'm going to give them a 3 out of 5 anchors on this one. Andrea, what do you think?
My vote for photo is also a 3 out of 5. First of all, I don't really care about all the same photo that we have seen and taken so many times on previous cruise. Also, I really don't like is the see thousands of photos printed that end up in recycled bin at the end of the cruise.
Hopefully they're recycled.
Incredible waste of paper. On previous sailing, Costa was experimenting with a face recognition software to browse photos online on your phone. On this ship, this wasn't available, and in order to see the photo, they needed to be printed, and it's a waste. I cannot stand that waste. So, 3 out of 5 at best. Time to move to our next topic for our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, and we talk about the Costa Club.
I think you mean the Sea Club.
The Sea Club. The Sea Club is Costa loyalty program. We call it the Costa Club. It offers some really good perks, especially once you reach the gold level. But even at the blue level, you can have some good discount on board, as well as future cruise discounts. So it's totally worth joining it. On Costa, the membership is not automatic, like it's on most of the American cruise lines, so it requires you to sign up for the Sea Club. The sign-up process is simple and quick, and it's totally free, so worth it, totally worth it. The cruise we just did on board of the Costa Favolosa was a special Costa Club cruise. This cruise was dedicated to the Costa Club, the Sea Club member, and had some special events, as we told before. Some special food, special excursions, special everything else.
Everything was special, yeah.
Obviously, you can...
Even the ports were special.
Yeah, you can join the cruise even if you're not a member, but it was dedicated to the members. On board the Costa Favolosa, they had the two usual parties. The first one was for all the members, and the second one was the VIP party for the gold and the platinum. And due to the fact there were a lot of gold and platinum members on board, they had to have two VIP parties. And for some reason, we were invited to both of us.
I didn't mind. It was the same party twice.
Same party twice, but we met the captain and all the members. Now, it almost seemed that they had a lot of special events just for Platinum members, so we were not invited to those. Another thing that was really worth mentioning was the fact that being Gold members, we were invited to do a bridge tour, where the captain personally showed us around the bridge.
Yeah, maybe it could also be because we were traveling in a suite. I mean, I know we're entitled to it, but maybe that helped as well.
Maybe. Also, no phones or camera were allowed on the tour, so we have no clips to show you around about us.
No.
Also, including our gold status, we had the free entry to the spa while in port and the free pizza. Lastly, being a gold member, we had a gift at the end of the cruise, a nice ship model, some Moroccan mint tea, and some Sicilian olive oil.
Yeah, that was a very nice touch.
Yeah, that was a great touch. Actually, they usually give a little gift at the end. So it's time to vote now for the Sea Club, and I give it a 5 anchor out of 5. I think the perks once you reach the gold status or even the platinum status or better are really good, and much better than other royalty member in the industry. So I think it's good. What's your vote, Rick?
Well, you mentioned a lot of the pros when it comes to the Sea Club, but I think there's a few things that we need to add to that. One little perk that I love is the magic bag. I love doing laundry on board. Now, the magic bag is a free bag of laundry for up to 25 items that's delivered in the cabin towards the end of the cruise. Now, unlike on the Costa Toscana last year, where asking for a paid magic bag was like pulling teeth, we were given the bag on this cruise in the middle of the cruise, and getting an additional bag was just not a problem. I think the cost was, what, 19 euros? Yeah, 19 euros. Now, one thing I don't love about the Sea Club is the fact that every time I cruise, I get points, right? That's how it works with the Sea Club. And those points, no matter what, they expire after 3 years. Doesn't matter how many times I cruise. And to me, that's completely crazy. I don't know any other cruise line that does this. Now, some lines go to the extreme. They say once you cruise enough times, you reach a certain level, you get it for life, like elite, right? That's amazing, but then eventually you end up with everybody being elite. Okay, fine. And then you have other cruise lines that have you keep your points or your status by cruising just 1 or 2 or 3 times a year. And to me, that makes a perfect balance. I mean, if someone stops cruising for 3, 4, or 5 years and they lose their status, that's one thing. But losing your status after spending thousands of euros or dollars each and every year, I think
It's a bit unfair.
Yeah. I guess whoever was modeling this may have been modeling the status, kind of like how the airlines do. But that's like a whole other industry, right? Yeah, I don't love it. Well, for that, time to vote for the Sea Club. I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5 anchors. Originally, I was going to give 3, but I'm going to give them a 4 on this one. Next up on our Costa Favolosa Cruise review, the casino. The casino on Costa Favolosa is located on deck 5 towards the back of the ship. The casino is huge for this size of a ship, with a great variety of tables and slots and everything in between. On this cruise, the casino is usually quite busy, with people playing all the times that the casino is open, at least that we saw. We did play a few times, but no luck, no jackpot for me this time. Now I'm not going to deduct any anchors for that, so don't worry. So my vote for the casino is a solid 5 out of 5 anchors. Andrea, what do you think?
Well, there's one thing that I really like about the casino on the Favolosa, on all other Costa ship actually. The casino is 100% non-smoking.
Yes.
I remember on other cruise line, even American cruise line, it was quite bad walking through the casino and being greeted by a big cloud of smoke. For this reason, I give the casino a 5 anchors out of 5. I think the casino is pretty good for the ship. Moving on to our next item to review on board of the Costa Favolosa, it talks about the stores. The stores on Costa Favolosa are identical to the ones we saw on almost the other Costa ship. And frankly, we think they need an upgrade. You can buy the usual clothes, perfume, cosmetics, watches, sunglasses, tobacco and booze, and a very small selection of necessities. So if you run out of toothpaste,
Yeah.
as we mentioned in previous Costa review, the section for necessity items is small and very limited. Now, on this sailing, it was not a problem because we were in port almost every day. But for a longer cruise with a lot of sea days, be careful and don't forget your deodorant or toothpaste or whatever else because you won't be able to find it on board.
Yeah.
So this part of it, I don't understand why. Also on this ship, it seemed that the Costa brand merchandise store is being converted into a souvenir store. We don't know the reason why, but we don't like it and the new format.
Yeah.
So time to vote for me for the store, and my vote is a 2 out of 5. I really don't care for the stores, and I spend $0 in this time around, so store gotta go for me.
Yeah, to be fair, this is something that we've seen on a lot of ships, not just on Costa. Actually, the only company I think that's doing a better job of shopping is MSC with their brand new ships. But that's a whole other cruise line and another class of ships. I really wish there was a Costa branded store. You know, I could buy a hat, a t-shirt, things like that, but I can't anymore. So for this, I give it a 2 out of 5. Time to review another aspect on board the Costa Favolosa, and it's the internet on board. Now, remember, we only had 2 sea days, so we didn't use the internet on board very much. And that's because we mostly used our cell phone roaming to connect to the internet. In fact, in all of the European ports, we used the roaming package that was included with our cell phone provider, while in Morocco, I bought an eSIM with unlimited data for an affordable price. By the way, we're going to go ahead and leave a link in the description below for some affordable eSIMs that you can buy for pretty much anywhere in the world. Yeah. When we did use the internet on board, the speed was okay. It wasn't the Starlink, but it was fine. I was able to get some work done without any problems. However, I think it's important to mention that we did not buy any of the packages. Instead, we used the per minute option. The price for the per minute option was 35 euro cents per minute, and it was, to us, way cheaper than buying an unlimited package that cost us 238 euros per person for the 2 weeks. That's almost 500 euros for 2 weeks. Other packages on board were a WhatsApp package for 70 euros or social media package for 140 euros. And while we were on board, like we said before, they were installing the new Starlink satellite system, which was going live the day we disembark. And we really hope that with this new system, the prices for internet will go down, especially considering that the major competitor of Costa in the Mediterranean, they offer the package for free as part of the all-inclusive package. And some even offer it as part of being in a suite. So, time to vote for the internet on board, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 anchors, mainly due to its current price. So, Andrea, what do you think on the internet?
My vote for the internet is also a 3 out of 5. The speed and the usability is fine, but the price is really too high. I mean, I don't understand why they charge so much money for the internet. That was like 20 years ago price. We are now moving on to our next topic for our review on board of the Costa Favolosa, and we talk about disembarkation.
The sad part.
The sad part. Disembarkation process was mildly different this time, but it was not Costa fault.
I don't think so.
No. This was what happened. We received a letter a couple of days before disembarking that Rick had to bring his Canadian passport to the front desk, and on the disembarkation day, he had to meet at the library at 7 o'clock sharp with all the other non-European citizens. From there, they would go to have a face-to-face passport control with the Italian border police. Also, in this letter, they were pretty strong, saying that until all the non-EU passport holders have completed this step, nobody could disembark the ship, which was pretty strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Now, this was the first time that happened, and usually we just walk off the ship, and there we go. People at the front desk told us that the procedure was because we went to Morocco and Tunisia, and because of this they had to add a secondary level of security.
Okay, well, whatever.
Other than this little bureaucratic problem, the disembarkation was super easy, fast, and efficient. Our bags were shipped home by Bag Express, so we walked off the ship with just our carry-on and, the giant carpet that we bought in Tunisia.
Which is actually very nice, actually. I like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. By 9:30, we were on our car driving home. So, time to vote for the disembarkation, and my vote is a 5 out of 5 because it was very smooth.
Yeah.
What's the vote, Rick?
Yeah, so I really did not like having to wake up at 6:30 a.m. to be huddled in a room at 7 without my passport. They were holding it, only to be escorted to the customs guys. I've never had to do this before. And they said, yeah, it's because we went to Morocco and Tunisia, but they forgot that we visited Spain and France. And they didn't require any of this before coming to Italy, so
strange.
It's strange. I don't think it's Costa's fault, so I'm not going to consider this. So I'm going to vote for disembarkation, and I'm going to say it's also a usual 5 out of 5 anchors. Well, it's that time again where we need to draw some conclusions. On this Costa Club cruise on board the Costa Favolosa, we had a bloody amazing time.
Amazing.
We deeply enjoyed the itinerary, the passengers. It was really nice to meet up with some old friends and some new ones. And there's a couple of things that we didn't try on board, the Costa Favolosa, the squat club for kids and teenagers. Oh, how I'd love to be young again, but hey, whatever. So we're not going to be able to review those aspects. But in general, we think that Costa has gone far and above in organizing its parties, entertainment, the food, always exceptional. And of course the desserts, right? They're just absolutely amazing. Of course, we just think about that. For those reasons, we absolutely look forward to our next cruise, our next future cruises on board Costa. Until then, we will see you in our next video or
in person.
Ciao.
Ciao.